everyone, it's Michelle and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. You guys, we have so many juicy stories that have come out today. My head is a spinning, so we're just going to go ahead and dive right in so you know what to do. Grab yourself a beverage, preferably an adult beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So Prince Harry sat down for his pay-per-view pity party event this past weekend. And when I say I suffer from secondhand embarrassment for the man, I do, and I didn't even see the show. You guys, I decided $33 was just way too much money for me to spend on Prince Harry and supporting him in his 16 bathrooms in his Montecito mansion. Quite frankly, $33 gets me quite a few items from my Amazon storefront, link in bio. But you guys, I did see quite a few people who did watch the show, and there was an article where they gave away the main points and what they learned about during the interview. Now, the very first thing, of course, is Harry says he is not a victim. Nope, no sir, he is no victim, and he's not looking for sympathy, says the man who's cried for 3 years about his mom. My mom, I'm just like my mom. Yes, that's right. He literally brought up his mom again. It's like him and his mom is like the same freaking story that Meghan tells about the Procter & Gamble letter. I swear these two people are going to put it on their tombstone. Here lies Meghan Markle, the girl who wrote the Procter & Gamble letter. Here is Prince Harry, who's just like his mom. I'm like my mom. Oh my God, can we give this a flipping rest? You know, you suffer from secondhand embarrassment. It's cringeworthy. I didn't even watch the show and I have embarrassment for him. Part of me felt sorry for him, but I just cannot stand him anymore. He has turned into a royal knob. Every time I look at him, I'm just, ugh. I can't stand him. I'm sorry, I can't. So according to Dr. Mate, he sat there and literally diagnosed him on the show. Did these two forget that this was an interview and not a therapy session that people had to pay to watch and had a book forced down their throat? I think someone forgot to tell them this was not a therapy session. So he goes on to literally have a therapy session for an hour and a half, and he diagnoses Harry with ADD that goes all the way back to his childhood trauma. And then Harry thanks the use of marijuana for helping him. I don't know about that, Harry, because I think you might need some actual therapy, because, son, you're a little unhinged. Unhinged. Okay, put the mushrooms down, stop microdosing, and go get some help, please. So Dr. Morey is sitting there telling him how he has a new condition, ADD, to add to his other list of things. But I'm going to diagnose him with PPP, professional pity partier, because that is what you are, son. You literally held a professional pity party, and then you had the nerve to charge people to watch it. Wow. Okay, moving on. And then he says, well, my mother was an outsider and she also didn't fit in. Just like me, I don't fit in. Harry, your mother and you are two completely different people, and comparing yourself to your mother is getting creepy. Okay, it is actually not healthy to compare yourself to people, by the way. Did Dr. Mate forget to tell you that? But he literally likens himself to his mother. But he's not trying to get sympathy. Nope. But he's definitely not trying to get people to like him by clinging to his mummy's memory. Oh no, he wouldn't do that. He's not merching his mother for sympathy and likes. That's a horrible thing to say. Meanwhile, he says he's just like his mom, the outsider who didn't fit into the royal mold. So he's a rebel just like his mom. First of all, Princess Diana was a completely different person during a completely different time who had a completely different experience. Harry. And at the end of the day, she was a royalist. She wanted the crown for her son. Just because she had a bad marriage has nothing to do with your attitude problem, with you being the spare and wanting to be the heir. That has nothing to do with your mother at all. You've always been jealous of your brother. You are the Jan Brady of the royal family. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. William, William, William. William had more sausages than me. William had the better bedroom. William, William, William. He was the future king of England and you were the spare. You're the second son. Sorry, sweetheart, that is what you got in life. A lot of people, no matter where they're born, the hierarchy, someone always has it better. The oldest child, the youngest child, it doesn't matter. So by comparing himself to his mother, it's like apples and oranges. You're not the same person, and you and your mom did not have the same situation. Your mother married into it. You were born into it. Completely different. Then he says, I come from a broken family. It's called a divorced family. A divorced family. Many people come from broken and divorced families. So then he talks about his family not being affectionate, how there was a, quote, lack of touching or hugs in the royal family. Now, we do know that the queen definitely was from a different generation. My grandmother was not an affectionate person at all. She grew up in the Depression. She was not one to be very fussy, to be very emotional, because she grew up in a different era. The queen grew up in a different era. Unfortunately, his father, Prince Charles, didn't receive a lot of love as a child, but I believe as he got older, him and the queen developed more of love and affection. Now, Harry does mention in his book that his father used to call him my darling boy. To me, that is such a sweet endearment that someone who is not caring and loving wouldn't have a sweet nickname for you. So that to me seems a little bit contradictory. Not to mention, his father did a lot for him. He just doesn't seem to appreciate everything that his father did. I think that Charles did the best he could. Now, whether he was very affectionate behind the scenes, I cannot tell you. However, we have plenty of photographic evidence showing love and affection and admiration between Charles and Harry, Charles and his grandchildren, Charles and his children. Just because his marriage to his mother maybe wasn't affectionate, didn't work out, I believe Charles was a good hands-on father. I believe Charles tried to give his children more attention and more love than he got from his mother. Kind of the generational bond that they talk about. But Harry's like, you know, I'm not going to be like them. Meghan and I, we're breaking that chain and we're smothering our children with love and attention. The weird thing is no one ever sees you with your kids. No one ever sees your kids outside of your Montecito mansion. It's weird, okay? Even my friend the other day was like, you never see them on bikes with their kids. Every time they go to a public event, their kids are never with them, even when there are other kids around. It's just weird. Now, recently, Rebel Wilson was on the Andy Cohen show on Bravo, where she mentions that she met Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and that Meghan wasn't too friendly. She said that she was there at a polo match. They had a mutual friend in common, and Rebel was there with her mother, and they meet Meghan Markle, and Rebel's mother asks Meghan Markle, so where are your kids? Right? That's a normal question I think that people would ask, where are your kids? And Meghan wasn't very friendly. She was very frosty to Rebel's mother. And then, of course, Rebel's like, well, you know, it was inappropriate for my mom to ask that question. No, it wasn't. That's a normal question. If you're at a polo match and everyone's kids are there and you know she has kids, is it wrong to say to a mom, oh, where are your kids? I don't think that's a rude question. But apparently Meghan Markle wasn't too friendly. So she's not a hugger. She's not Ariel. She's not Julia Roberts. I mean, isn't Meghan Markle supposed to be so warm? I'm a hugger. I'm just such a nice person. But yet she's frosty to Rebel Wilson and her mom. Yep, that's right. I think people are starting to really reveal the truth about Miss Meghan Markle not being the sweet little Julia Roberts sweetheart that she's really pretending to be. You know how she painted Kate to be the cold, non-hugger, and here she is being very rude and icy to Rebel Wilson's mother. But she did say that Harry was lovely. He was very nice. But Meghan Markle, she wasn't very warm and friendly. I thought that was a little interesting story. So then Harry talks about how he lives his life in a bubble, in a series of bubbles. It's called privilege. The bubble's privilege, the 1%. That's the bubble that you live in. Again, being a royal spare means you're going to have more life of luxury and money and privilege than the rest of us will ever see. But yet, you're still unhappy. You're still whining. And you're now paying people to watch you feel sorry for yourself. But yet, you're not a victim and you don't want sympathy. Funny, I don't know what the hell this is. Is this not sympathy? What the hell is it? What are you trying to get out of this, Harry? But Harry, he thinks he's helping other people. He says he's gotten a lot of positive reviews from his book, Spare. I wonder if those are carefully crafted reviews, but he said he believes he's helping other people and that he wants to continue to tell his truth. You guys, he wants to continue. So there's probably going to be more chapters released in his upcoming paperback. It's like, when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? Does he not have people? Does he not have handlers? Like, what in the holy money grab is going on? Meghan, are you paying attention? This is downright embarrassing, okay? Not to mention Chris Rock. Apparently he has a comedy special on Netflix where he just roasted Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. He said they're calling racism, but he said actually wondering what the color of Archie's skin tone is going to be is not racism. That black people even want to know how dark is their skin color. I've told you this before. We've mentioned this on my channel. It is not racist. So there you go. Chris Rock just blew her out of the water. Calling them out, guys. We have South Park, Chris Rock. Then we have Rebel Wilson literally saying, Meghan's not friendly. How many more times do people have to hear stories before they start realizing these two are hypocrites and they're fake? I don't understand how they still have supporters. I'm scratching my head. Seriously. And then he says how marijuana was a positive experience and how marijuana has helped him with his trauma. Well, I got to be honest with you, Harry, I think you need some real professional help. I don't think that marijuana is doing you any favors, and we all know those talking toilets and that microdosing of mushrooms, son, you need to put them down and you need to get real help. And then, of course, the big kicker is he credits Meghan Markle for saving him because she's such an angel. The woman who sings to seals and who personifies his dead mother saved him. It was like she called him out. She pushed back on his horrible behavior because he's a royal knob. And she basically said, you're a royal knob, but I'm a narcissist and I ain't putting up with that. So you better check yourself, boo. You better get some help. He started smoking dope and said, now we're great because I can handle Meghan when I'm high. That is how they have a perfect marriage, because he just goes and microdoses on mushrooms and smokes marijuana, and apparently all of your problems, they just go away when you're high. And he can handle Meghan when he's high. So that's why he always looks like he's checked out, because he is. That's the secret to his happy marriage, is he just gets high. So there you go. You have a problem in life, go get high. You having a bad day? Go get high. Quit your job and go get high. Hide in one of your bathrooms and smoke a doobie. Because that's what Harry does. That's how he copes. He gets high. When they say he's high on life, I think it's got a little help from Mary Jane. That's all I'm saying. So another big story that has come out is that, yes, Harry and Meghan have officially been invited to the royal coronation via email. And they did say through a spokesperson, which is probably themselves, because I don't think they have one anymore, that, yeah, they did receive the invitation, but they are not commenting yet if they will attend the coronation. Now, if you remember in my last video, I said they got themselves into a little bit of a pickle, a little bit of a corner, right? Because they have a problem now. If we go to the coronation, we're going to be hypocrites and going to be with the evil, racist, royal family, right? We're going to make all those people who were fighting for us and our freedom flight from the evil, racist, imperial family. If we go, we're going to look like hypocrites because they've already backtracked on the racist allegations. But if they don't go, they're going to become irrelevant and lose deals and lose favor because in Hollywood, they're already tanking. People are making fun of them. People don't like people who sell out their family for money. They've only built their brand on slamming the royal family. That is the only thing they are known for. I don't care if they hand out free meals and sing Kumbaya while they're naked running down the street. All they've done is slam the royal family and make money off of it. That's it. That is all they've done for 3 years. And so he's sitting here saying, we're just going to focus on positivity. We're just going to focus on the future work of Archwell. But then he does a pay-per-view pity party event where he didn't help himself, in my opinion. And then he's going to re-release those hidden chapters, which I'm sure have some more golden nuggets in it that are going to make us all cringe, probably in time for the coronation. It's like, when are we starting the positivity track? Because you're still bagging on your family. They're still leaking stories to the press about Frogmore Cottage. Now there's been some more revelations about that. According to Lady C, word on the street is that Harry and Meghan have become a liability to Prince William and Catherine and their children and their safety. They don't want them on Windsor grounds. So their lease was not renewed due to the fact that he's unhinged. He's Wild Harry, who's out there smoking doobies and doing mushrooms with a hateful, spiteful wife. Would you want them to be your neighbors? Because apparently Harry has a lot of very weird, displaced anger and hatred and envy toward his brother. And there's that old saying, be careful of hanging out with people who have nothing to lose. You're not going to park a brand new Mercedes-Benz next to an old clunker in a parking lot. Because you know what's going to happen? The person with the clunker isn't afraid to hit your car. They don't care because their car is already a clunker. So why would you bring the clunkers, better known as the Harkles, and plop them right there at Frogmore Cottage next to William and Catherine and Adelaide Cottage? Because now they have all this hatred, they're spewing toward them, and quite frankly, I don't think anyone trusts them to be on Windsor grounds. They're a liability to his safety. So they're like, let's not renew the lease, pack up their crap, and they can have all the freedom they want. They don't need to come back. So in my opinion, they assessed a risk and they decided we don't need this unhinged Harry who's microdosing and has a lot of hatred and has an attitude of nothing to lose because he's just throwing it out there. They don't want him around. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. Would you want a crazy relative or crazy person who hates you to be your neighbor? No. So get out. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, son. So in my opinion, there was many factors that went into the not renewing of the Frogmore lease, but I believe Lady C made a very valid point that quite frankly, they got to think about their family. Everyone's worried about Harry and his security and Meghan. It's like, well, what about William and Catherine and their children and their security? We got to think about them more than we have to think about Harry. So now we know they have the invitation, but Harry and Meghan are going to have to weigh the pros and the cons. Do we go to the coronation and look like hypocrites and backtrack and hide behind candlesticks and smile for the cameras and pretend that we're relevant? Or do we just not go and become irrelevant and fall into the dust? Because Hollywood ain't a calling. But here's another story that just broke. Tyler Perry was seen boarding one of his private jets where he headed out to the couple's Montecito mansion this weekend. So is Tyler Perry going to buy them a house in the UK? Is he going to help the cash-strapped Sussexes? Are they doing a new deal together? Are they going to star in a movie? Maybe they're going to do a rom-com together. Maybe Medea's going to be in a rom-com for Harry and Meghan. It's just interesting. He literally seems to be one of the only celebrities, besides Oprah, who's in their corner. You don't see a lot of other A-listers really coming to their aid, but Tyler Perry was seen gassing up the jet, y'all. His ex-freeloaders, so maybe they're trying to get him to invest in some rom-coms, or maybe they need a house in the UK. Who knows? But I think it's very interesting that Tyler Perry was seen with them this weekend. So you guys, we had a lot of juicy royalty that we covered. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I am working on the second episode of Karina and the King. Hopefully I will have that out for you on Monday. But as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.